So after you raised awareness, and this was in Union County?
Union County,
And then what happened after that?
Well, I didn't want it just to be a nice conference where people would learn about homelessness and that would be the end of it. And I said at the end, and I never consider myself a leader. And I didn't really speak at the conference. I had a rabbi, a minister, and a priest speak and facilitate. But I came up at the end of the conference and said, if we work together and stay together, people like Wendy, will have a home. And so we then met. I had meetings every other Tuesday at Christ Church and Summit to work on finding shelter. And it was very, very hard because of zoning issues, NIMBY issues. Nobody wants a shelter in their backyard. So we couldn't find this building. And that was very disturbing. So after a few months, I said, I realized that my one church, for instance, couldn't be a full-time shelter. I said to everybody, what if we work together? Maybe we can do together what we can't do alone. And so the program involves 12 congregations who take turns sheltering homeless families on a weekly rotational basis. So that meant, for instance, Central Presbyterian Summit would only host about four times a year. And that was something people could do. And then we needed a day center. So the Y provided a day center for families. And we got a van to transport the families to and from the shelter and to and from the day center and the host congregation. And it was just amazing. I mean, families talked about, and they still talk about today, how much they feel at home and but strangers that really care about them. I think there was a healing that went on. And besides the fact that about 70% found housing in 9 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, it's cost effective too. But the thing is, we built community, and I realized that God didn't want me so much to find a building as he wanted me to build community. Because when you have people that care and a support system, you feel good, you heal. And, many of the volunteers stayed in touch with families long after they left the program. One woman here in Summit, Anita Nielsen, she's still in touch with a woman, Stephanie, who was in the program many years ago. So it's just amazing. Other volunteers became godparents for the mom's children, So, yeah, it really was building a community. So here I thought, oh, we can't find this building. What's going to happen? But sometimes, one door is closed, so another door can open.
And how did you pick those first, or any of the families? Like, how it seems like if there were so many homeless, you didn't have that much room. How did you pick them?
Well, of course, we had the day center with a case manager, and agencies would refer families to us, and they would be screened and so on, and then they would become part of the program.
Oh, okay. So there was a whole screening process. Well, I mean, it seemed like, the volunteers just, made the people feel so welcome. I mean, it seems, it must have been the culture that you had created, that they were so open arms and bring them in, and
Exactly.
it's like magical, really.
It is. And then the volunteers would often bring their children,
Yeah.
And that a real family environment. And one mom, I remember, she said to her daughter, we're going to go see the homeless. And so at church. And so they went, and the daughter immediately started playing with the other kids and so on. And then it was time to go. And she was in the car with her mom and said to her mom, when are we going to go see the homeless? You know? Yeah. They didn't look homeless. She was just another child. That's sort of the beauty of it. Yeah. And then other counties nearby asked me to help them start what we called at that time an interfaith hospitality network. Now it's Family Promise, but anyhow. So I worked with them, and they created their 2 programs. And then Philadelphia called me at Columbus, Ohio. And so I thought, well, okay, this is replicable. And so I developed a manual on how to develop the program and, organized it a little more. And then it just grew. I was able to hire more staff, and I had people on staff go out and meet with congregations in a particular community. And then the one congregation would host the community meeting where I would usually speak. And so we quite easily developed this system for replicating the program. And we've helped more than 1 million men, women, and children over the past 32 years. So it was quite something.